Hello and welcome to video 2 for the Get Basic tutorials for CoderGirl's spring class. Today we're going to be going over how to use Git in XCode. I'm going to do this in a couple segments here. The first segment I'm going to show you how to do the git init and git add, git commit, git remote add, and git push, and it's a lot simpler than when we went over it in the um, original tutorial slides. On the command line it's a lot more tedious. Xcode makes it a lot more streamlined. So go ahead and open Xcode, and if you're starting a new project that from scratch, you're going to go ahead and create a new Xcode project. This could also work with playgrounds, but everything I'm going to show you is how to use it in Xcode projects, since most of our work is going to be in Xcode projects. So go ahead and click on create new Xcode project. Here you're going to just click next, or make your selections. You're going to give your project a name like normal. So this is going to be a Git example tutorial project. And go ahead and click next. And then on this page, you're just choosing where you want to save it. And I've already got it set up to where I want to save it in my examples folder. And here I want to create a Git repo on my Mac. So this is your Git init right here. And when you hit create, it goes ahead and generates some basic files for you, and already your code and whatnot is under source control. So let's go ahead and open the view controller, and we're just going to add a new line and add a comment. And here we'll put this is a new comment in my code. Great. And then we want to save it to push, right? So we would do a git add and a git commit. So the first thing we're going to do is the git add, and the only thing that you have to do to add a file is to check mark it. And you can view here, and you can see your diff. So this is kind of the same as your git diff between what the last commit was, the init commit, and where you're currently at. And then down here you can see the head of the branch is currently here. And then this is your local revision. So that's a few things. And then down here you make your commit message. So add comment. And then all you have to do to finalize that commit is hit down here, click commit one file. And if you had multiple files, it would increase. And so that's it. You've initialized, you've added, you've committed. So the next thing we want to do is add a remote. We don't have a remote yet, so I'm going to switch over here to Safari, and I'm going to create a new repo on GitHub. So once you've signed in and gotten to this page, this is going to be, Git example for CoderGirls 2019. I'm going to leave it public so you guys can check this out later. I don't want to initialize it with a README. That would cause conflict since I already have files in the other project. So I'm just going to create the repo, and then it generates this wonderful long URL for us. And I'm going to click this button here to copy it, and then slide back to the other screen. And then on this screen, I'm going to go to this, which is, there you go, show the source control navigator. It's what that little tooltip says. So we're going to click on that box with the X in it, and then we're going to expand on this folder, and you have your remotes, your tags, and your branches. Currently you only have the master branch, tags, remotes. So I'm going to click on the remotes, and I'm going to add an existing remote, and then it's going to be our origin, and then the location is going to be that URL I just copied, and then just click add. So that's your git remote add. Pretty simple. And then the last thing we want to do is push this to GitHub. So we're going to go source control and push. And it's going to go to origin master, and it's creating the master branch. And we're just going to click push. It's going to take just a second to upload. It's switched back to the other screen now. And we're going to refresh this page. And now you can see all of the Xcode project files And if we go to this folder, and then we go to the view controller, we can see our comment that we added to the code. This is a new comment in my code. And that's the basics there. I'm going to prepare a couple other things and we'll get on to the next segment. Alright, so I've added a new comment in GitHub. So if we go back to the view controller, you can see here I added, this is a comment I added on GitHub. When you edit a document on GitHub, it commits the file as after you edit it. You really shouldn't be editing files on GitHub. Typically the only time I'll edit something on GitHub is the README, or in this rare case, making a tutorial for you guys. So now our local branch is different than our remote branch on GitHub. So we're going to go and we're going to do a fetch and refresh status. And now that's going to show here that we have it, we're behind the master branch on the remote by one commit. And if we want to just go ahead and pull that, since nothing's changed here on local, we'll do a git pull. And now we have that extra line. And our master branch is up to date. You can see that in this source control navigator. So git pull is pretty simple. The next thing you might want to be, that you probably would like to know, is how to branch. Branching, I believe, is done here. Branch from master. We're going to create a new branch. We'll use the same name we did in the other tutorial. Add new file. Create. And so that was the git branch to create the new branch and the git checkout. So now we're on the add new file branch. And if you see here, it's current. All we did was do the add. Branch from, type in the branch name, and when you hit create it, it switches over. Now let's go ahead and add a readme to this. And for now, we'll just stick it in here, create a new file. And it's just going to be an empty file. Next, we'll call it readme. And this is our new readme file. Great. So we want to save it, but this is on our branch. So we're going to check here. We're still on the add new file branch. We're going to source control. We're going to push. And I don't think this should throw an error. Well, this will create the new branch without this. If we go back to commit, you'll see that you have some changes that have not been committed. So this we created readme. Let's just go create readme. And you also see that this other Xcode file updated. While working in Xcode, you may find errors happen quite frequently in this file, and we'll go over those as they come up and how to solve those. For now, we'll just go ahead and commit. It's just the way that Xcode references, and now our branch is one ahead of the remote. So now we're going to push again, and we're pushing to the branch. The last time it just created the branch. This time it's going to push our commit as well, and you can see all of our commit messages. Here you'll see that in the master branch there is no create readme commit, but here there is the create readme commit. And if we come back over to GitHub, go back here, we can now see that there's a new branch. And that's pretty simple there. Go back to the main class. What else did I want to go over? Status. Checkout. Looks like that's everything we wanted to go over. How I typically handle branches then and adding them back into your dev branch or your master branch is through a pull request. So once you're finished with a branch, you can compare the base master and the add new file branch. And the only thing I did was create the README, so we're just going to leave it as that. Create a new pull request. And then it allows you, if everything worked and there's no conflicts, it'll let you merge. You can confirm the merge, and then you can delete the branch. And then on GitHub then, you only have one branch. The one branch is master, and the commits show that your initial commit, you add comment, updated. This is the one I did before this clip. Then we created the README on the other branch, but now it's in master. And this is the merge. So what it did was take this commit from the branch, tacked it onto the front or in front of the head and became the new head, and then it added a new commit, which was the merge pull request. And that is everything there. Oops. Yeah, so that is all of the Git basics on how to use Git with Xcode. Oh, I know, sorry. The last thing, Git clone. So we're gonna, let's do it this way. File, close project, and then if we open Xcode again, we're gonna clone an existing project. And we're just gonna go ahead and clone that same repo. So I've got the URL still saved in my clipboard. And if you paste that into the search bar at the top and then hit clone, and then you can choose where you want it. I've been saving in here. And we're just going to let it save under this. I believe that'll be a unique folder name. Hit clone. And now you have the same documents, but if you go into Finder, we can see that, well, I just lost everything there. This one. We have in our examples folder the two other projects that are there. The one I made for myself to test all this, and then this is the repo. And you'll notice both of these are kind of the same. This is the one that we created in the first segment. This is the one that we created from the git clone. And you'll notice our remote and everything is still set up because it came from the same location, and we're currently on branch master. Alright, so now that's everything for the Xcode Git basics. I'm sure we'll come into other issues throughout the semester, so feel free to refer back to this as many times as you need. And yeah, I'll see you guys. I think there's one more video before for the first class, so see you guys there.